Hello, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me and Rose in the creek. We're going to get you some messages, see what spirit would like you to know to be helpful. This is a timeless collective reading. See which messages feel like they resonate, and always follow and trust that divine guidance in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer is in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound, they're based in love and for the highest and greatest good of everybody. So we're all uplifted in love. I have half of the tea leaf here, half is in the boat with Rose, in the flamingo here. So I feel like we should just get two. So let's start with the two most impactful, powerful messages you need to hear at the beginning of this reading, and then we'll kind of go with the flow. So let's see what God's source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. What is the most prominent and impactful, important message from this path for the collective today? Please and thank you. You got the unicorn. So the most impactful, prominent, important message today is to use your intuition and to remember that there's something so special and pure about your heart, your soul, because that's when the unicorn appears. Maybe it's also that you're so unique. Maybe you feel like you're kind of really unusual. Like, how do you find another herd of unicorns? How do you find even one other unicorn? I do feel like you are going to come across another unicorn. Somebody's going to recognize that your uniqueness is maybe a different color. So I'm getting like a little bit of My Little Ponies, and or I'm going way back to the 80s here. A little bit of Rainbow Bright. What was it Starlight? If I'm right about that, please put it in the comments. I think Rainbow Bright's horse was called Starlight. So maybe it is your special starlight that is shining. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. So if some of you feel like I do get procrastination, and I don't know why. I just saw you moving furniture with the unicorn. So, and I see somebody like at the end of moving furniture, maybe your bedroom, maybe your desk, maybe your office, maybe your garage, something like that. I actually just saw a funky, like that 70s show style basement, but better. Like, I actually do see like, what's that, like the shag carpet? Maybe you got like a cool style. But I also see somebody looking at a mess for a long time before that moment when they sit on the couch with their fancy shag carpet and go, whew. And now I see paperwork. Wow, thank you, unicorn, giving me all these messages already. Or should I say thank you, God, thank you, universe. Because I don't feel like it necessarily relates to that picture, but I see it so vividly. And I feel like there was procrastination, anticipation, maybe even anxiety. Like you're worried about the paperwork, but that time that you worried about doing the paperwork, filing something, getting started on something, even a prep time, getting all the odds and ends together, or that you spent focused on the mess was way longer than the time it will actually take to clean up the mess. So it's like you have all this time wasted in worry, procrastination, and anxiety when it could have been solved like way faster than you thought. I also feel like once you start on something, it's going to go way faster and feel more fun than you thought. Maybe just, put on some good music, dance around while you organize that furniture, or meditation music if you are doing paperwork, or maybe just silence if you always have noise. But I see that moment, wherever it is, relaxing. Maybe it's cleaning your car for some of you, but looking around being like, oh man, how many months did I sit in that? Like, that stress. And all of a sudden I get like you feel so much better that you finally attended to something, whatever that is that you are thinking. And I feel like for some reason it streamlines your brain, because I feel like there was over-analyzing, or, so many questions, so many solutions, so many directions, so many complications, so many whatever, but it feels very left brain, very analytical. And the solution here, or the way to get through those changes, is following intuition. It's following the energies. It's following the clues you can't quite put a finger on, but they feel right. So Hey, babe, I'm gonna grab the rest of these, and let's see. Is that all of them? No, you got some more in there. Let's get one from this half. What is the most prominent? There's a bug. Important, impactful message from this half of the tea leaf for the collective today, please and thank you. That one. You got a ram. All right, maybe somebody's an Aries. Maybe somebody is kind of stubborn. Maybe that's you. Maybe there's a situation you don't really want to change. This could also be somebody else who doesn't want to change. They don't take change so well. It kind of throws them off their game. This could be somebody who likes to be in control or feel in control, but there's something with this unicorn here where there is more control in letting go. Maybe it's letting this person go. Maybe it's just knowing that somebody's stubborn. Maybe you have to be the one to be flexible. Maybe you have to be the one to, I hear, resist butting heads with this person. If you are always butting heads and this person is a know-it-all, they always want to be right, even if they're not, then maybe it's just saying, hey, yeah, you're right. And then I feel like you're just kind of like going about doing your own thing. It does say a stubborn and or aggressive person. So if this is someone aggressive just to be aggressive, maybe it does take you butting heads a little bit. And that could be boundaries that you set. If this person still tries to, cross those boundaries, then maybe it is shutting the door. And also, again, you have to adjust your reaction big time. Because if this is somebody who's always pushing to get a reaction, then maybe you don't give them a reaction. I feel like you should do the unexpected. Either what they don't expect or maybe what you didn't even expect to do. We'll clarify that, but I don't know. I feel like after that, maybe it has to do, I don't know. For some of you, it could be a friend. It could be somebody in your family. You just know they're stubborn. They're not going to change. Maybe this person is starting to use their intuition, or I just heard you're a good example on somebody. But if you feel like, no matter what good example you make, somebody is not learning, or they're not willing to move or budge or compromise, then I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting that's a personal situation for you, but you're going to figure out what to do with that person. Personalities can be difficult and complicated. Maybe it's not even that this person in general is that stubborn, but maybe there is that, when somebody has that one subject, that one thing they're not budging on. I don't know. Maybe that person, I'm getting that this person may have set boundaries, but that they were, I just heard, over demanding. Like they expect you to, I just heard like they expect you to, I'm getting conform. I heard confront, but that wasn't the right word. Maybe they expect you to conform to their demands. Let's see. Let's go to this one. This is totally different. This is, what did I say before on Starlight? You do have star power here, so maybe we'll just take a look at that since it's at the bottom and I stared at it. So it is telling you need engaging work. You need to be in a creative space. You need to have, a little more liberty. Your opinions need to be heard. You need more flexibility, maybe even with your schedule. But there's something about you that sparkles. You're unique, you shine, you're different. Maybe other people that you work with or around you in general don't like that you shine. Maybe you shine brighter. I feel like your brightness, though, also spots other bright stars. I also feel like maybe you can spot some shade, or maybe you create shade, If you're shining there, some people are going to love you, some people aren't. Who cares? I feel like you're starting to, what did I just go to? What is that movie? Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. What is that, like? Is that Casablanca? I might have the movie wrong. If I'm wrong, please put that in the comments. Maybe it's Scarlet. Maybe it's the root chakra. I just heard a song and I don't know why that popped through now. It's who is Pharrell's band? Nerd? It's the have like none of the, I almost don't even have the melody, and it's me and it's you and it's me. Something, maybe it's just a sorry part. That's a great song. I actually haven't heard it in a long time. You need engaging work that will let your talents shine. If you were being dulled, you know, or somebody was being, you know, stubborn here, trying to put in their 2 cents that they know better, that you trying to do that could never work. It's too hard, you know? You only have your, I don't know why I just heard 5 minutes of fame and then you're done. I don't think it's that. I feel like you're a universe that's going to keep growing bigger somehow. Maybe you have to do something and it's only 5 minutes a day, or it's only 5 minutes that you need. I don't know why 5 minutes came through. Let your talent shine. You are a natural actor and influencer. You attract fame and fortune. Maybe that's why some of you shy away as well. I feel like some of you want to do what you're talented at, but you actually don't want the fame, the fortune, and the annoying people coming after you and in your nosy business. So maybe there is a way, maybe that's why you need your intuition. I feel like there's a way to merge what you need and what you want, what you desire, what makes you comfortable. For some of you, maybe you are really good in the spotlight, like you handle crowds like a pro. I don't know why I just thought of like a Gemini energy, or maybe because it's a star, even an Aquarius, but somebody who can kind of feel out the crowd, feel out their audience, have a relatability, engaging questions. I don't feel like it's you just up there, like I just heard hogging the spotlight. I feel like there's something engaging about you. It's almost like you're making that beautiful light on you, or your starlight, shine more and more. And I just see it like row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. It's almost like you're including everyone somehow. I hope that's helpful, even if those are just your clients or your customers, your fans, whatever it is. And then I see an extra bright, different color light on one individual. So maybe that's somebody you're going to be working with. That could be somebody you collaborate with, or that maybe that's the other unicorn you recognize, a unicorn of a different color. But I feel like you recognize maybe the uniqueness in many other people. Let's see, I didn't even pull a card here. What is another message from the career in life? I guess I shuffled that in, so whatever came through, I don't have it to look at again. What is an important message when it comes to career, life in general, projects? I keep hearing collaboration now, so maybe some of this card every time, guys. So we'll take that too, because I stared at it. I feel like every single time I pull this deck of cards out, this one comes out. I mean, for like at least a year and a half now. So take a look at this. Maybe it's getting your gears spinning. Maybe you're putting something back together in a different way. Maybe you are an inventor. You are a creator. You come up with solutions or resolutions. You see a way to put something together that nobody else did. And probably because you use your intuition. Probably because you also use that analytical side of you. I do feel like some of you are, I just heard genius. Hey, I mean, you probably are. Maybe you don't give yourself enough credit how intelligent you are. And part of that intelligence is being able to continue to grow and unlearn and accept that you don't know everything. It's always on that search. Once you think you know it all, I mean, that's when I feel like I don't want to say you get stuck or go downhill. It's like, I hear pompous. Anyone who thinks they know it all knows nothing about nothing. You know, you should always want to expand. But here it's also a lot of creativity. It's like your personal little spin on something to get it in gear, to get it tick, tick, tick. I see tick, tick, ticking. Maybe that has to do with a clock. They look like gears on a watch, or maybe you even do something with a car. I don't know why I thought of a bicycle or a car, some kind of motor with that. Is that a song? Motor Run. Dun, 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 dun. I have no idea what that is, but I at least think they say motor on. That I feel like that's one of those songs that like you totally sing with the wrong words and you read the words, you're like, oh, I haven't been singing that the right way for like 20 years. innovation. You will need to come up with a new strategy or new strategies, plural, to keep your plans in motion. So there's something about those old days, those old ways, those old thoughts, that old something, that old narrative's not working anymore. So you have to rewrite the rules. You have to rewrite something and do it different. You have to not be so stubborn and set in stone with something, and think outside the box a little bit. Accept some new information, or maybe somebody has some wisdom for you never heard of. Maybe you need to go in search of that wisdom. Maybe you're the one that gets to deliver it, to help others to think outside the box. I do feel like if some of you are inventing something, it is something very helpful. I just heard naturopath, and you do have like a plant here. So maybe you do something with plants or herbs. Old ways are outdated. Invent, create, and test ideas. So it's a little magician energy here. It's not gonna necessarily work the first test, the first go around. So if it doesn't work, test something out again. I just heard formula. Maybe you have to do something until you hit the right formula. But I still feel like if you hit the right formula, you have to allow it to adapt and change, because things are always going to change. So maybe some of you had something that really was working, it was really growing. You thought you got it down. And then, why did it, stop working so well? Maybe if some of you do something with, any kind of social media, it has to do with the algorithm changing, or what they look for changing, or an audience changing, or, something like that. So I do feel like you have to still change somehow. You may get a fresh start. I feel like that's that feeling I saw when someone sat on the couch and they're like, oh, this feels good. Now I can begin. Or be called to bring, that's you, that's the unicorn energy, a new perspective to your old job. You're the monkey wrench here. You may also get a tempting job offer or a new place. Maybe that's just your place now cleaned up or organized differently, rearranged. Maybe for some of you, you're getting a new office space, you're getting a new car, you're getting even a new desk. Maybe this is a whole new environment for some of you where, you have new coworkers. Maybe for some of you, you don't have any coworkers to worry about anymore. It's just you. I heard yours truly, you and yours truly here. I don't know why yours truly made me see an actual letter. So maybe that's a cover letter. It feels more personal than just it feels more personal than submitting your resume. I feel like it's even more personal, like somebody or maybe you will get to know like they are family. Yours truly. Maybe you even have I'm getting somebody in between you and a job, or you and an idea, something like that. Because now I see that as a thank you. Hey, thanks for pointing me in that direction, or thanks for that advice, or thanks for, getting that little door open for me. I just heard a boost. I see a fence. I like when I get visions. I see a fence. And when you're you're trying to here. I'm trying to stay organized here. You're trying to get up a tree. Now picture that as a tree, not just a plant. And you got to get something in the branch, and you got a friend there, and they're like, come on, up. You go like this with your hands, and they give you the boost. But I feel like that's now a fence. So maybe there was a fence or a block or a hurdle, and I feel like there was somebody involved somehow, even if that's just energetically, with helping you get over something you thought was too hard or too tall, or you couldn't reach that situation. You're not only going to reach it, you're going to get over it, beyond it. Maybe if some of you, since it's a fence, if you felt fenced in, maybe you don't even feel like there is a doorway. Every way you go, it's like there's no door here. It's just some big round fence. It's like I'm in the horse paddock. Then I feel like that's where that boost is involved. Maybe you get your horse power on where's your unicorn? Unicorn power on. And maybe you recognize you don't actually even need a boost or have to jump because you're a unicorn, and you can probably just teleport out of that shit. Oh, I like the messages to get today. They're kind of interesting. Rose, you're being such a cool girl. I love you so much, babe. She loves her floaty so much. She actually just hops in it on her own now. It's so cute. You love your floaty. I mean, it's more comfortable than sitting on the hard rock here. So let me look through my little box here in my bag. I got it up there. I got to go grab it. And let me grab some more cards, and we will continue to be continued in a moment. So while I'm organizing here, I just want to take note that that's pretty big. New life, feeling like, you know, you just get to wake up and it's like a whole new world. I'm not going to start singing. I did want to though. But it's a new life. It feels like it's thriving. It feels like it's alive and awake and living and vibrant, and it feels really good. Maybe you don't feel like that right now. Maybe that is coming in. That's why you need to recognize that you are unique for a reason. So I'm gonna go mysterious here. I have a chunk of the mystery deck. Let's get a few messages and then maybe go to the tarot. I did stare at that. I just think that's so beautiful. Look at her beautiful face, but her face is a painting. It has like paint all over it. So maybe somebody's on your mind all the time. What is that? Is that a song? You're always on my mind. I don't know who sings that. It's like James Taylor or something. Or Kenny Rogers, someone like that. Maybe somebody is thinking about you all the time. Extra message. What else would be helpful for the collective? I did see you, you know, shining your light. You know, that purity of your heart and your soul is why the unicorn came through first. Teach your truth. Don't teach, you know, about the false mask that you don't really believe in, or the sales pitch for something you're not into or would never buy. Teach your truth, which means you're living your truth or already have learned it too, which is why you can teach it. But if you're teaching your truth, it means that you had to go through something to learn that wisdom. So let's see. So I am getting that there's something through experience. It could be one big experience, one hard experience, one amazing experience, but it could also be many that have brought you a lot of wisdom over, you know, the seasons, the lifetimes that brought you here. What else would be helpful for the collective to know? In and out. Maybe I did see that 5-minute thing. So maybe there is something that's not going to take as long as you thought. You know, you're in, you're out. This could be something that was in your life that you learned about, where if it was an in and out situation and it left faster than it even came in, I don't know, maybe that was a quick karmic cycle. We'll get clarity on what was in and out, but I feel like I'm not getting negative energy from that. I feel like there's something you need to do and it's just kind of brief. It's something kind of quick. I feel like you stop in to say hello to somebody. I don't know, like stop in to say hello to somebody at work. And now I feel like for some of you, you expected to be just in and out. You're just going to say hi and bye. And maybe that actually doesn't happen. There's a reason that you were meant to stay longer. Those were different messages with that. What else would be helpful? And then we'll go to another chunk of this. Repeating numbers. And maybe this has to do with that, that RAM energy. Signed up for the stuff. Now, even with this, usually I get that this is somebody really stuck in 3D land, you know, in it for the glory, in it for the celebrity, in it for the big house and the Hummer. But I'm kind of getting today that, like, this is like, you've got the right stuff, baby. Like, signed up for the stuff. Like, I'm getting something intriguing, not actual physical stuff, but like someone's got the energy. I don't know. I keep hearing that song. It shows how old I am by New Kids on the Block. But maybe extra message if it is the way that I intended with this card and somebody is in it just for the things, that's somebody in it for material gain and material gain only. The glory, the trophy, the car, not the integrity. That could be what I saw before, where someone has that elevator pitch, in and out, their 5-minute spiel that they do, so you buy that product. Or I don't know, hear their opinion or hear their pitch for whatever that is. But there's something about, they just want to have like the most, I hear ducats, or they want to reach their quota. But it doesn't really have to do with the integrity of what they're saying. Maybe that's also why you need your intuition on high alert, and your little spidey antennas up, because you're gonna recognize if somebody's maybe just in it for the numbers, in it for the stuff, or in it for the real reasons of their truth. I'm even getting, for some of you, maybe you even give somebody your 2 cents on that situation. I feel like somebody's going to give you a pitch for something, and you actually know more than them about whatever they are pitching. Like they think they're talking to somebody who's just an average whatever, and you actually are an expert in that field, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. But I feel like you spin that shit around. I don't know why. Is he like throwing somebody for a loop? Like you ask some questions that they don't know how to answer. Woo, look at you. It doesn't feel like you're like, I know more than you do. It doesn't feel like you're like a little snotty kid. It feels like you're mature, and the way that you handle that is still with grace, and yet you still put somebody in their place, and they're like, I don't know. That was sort of weird. I'm getting weird messages today. I also like when they're kind of specific to the everyday. Pay attention to repeating numbers. Also, if you are doing anything with paperwork, with the business, with your finances, with the bills, there's something about, I just heard follow the money. That was interesting. Maybe that will be helpful for some of you if that's going back to that intuition thing. Maybe you have to follow the money. But if you are looking at repeating numbers and patterns, I feel like maybe that's where you're going to learn to adapt something from that old way of doing something to a new way. Maybe you have to look at seasons, sales, in and out flow. Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. In and as you can see, I didn't do that full taking all of my gigs and putting them into my iPad yet, because I just ran out of room in my phone again. So I know I was talking about the in and out flow of the numbers, the money, inventory, something like that is important. I feel like there's something wasteful you missed, and something small you can tweak or change or take note of that will change it all. I hope that's helpful for some of you, whether that's a personal situation or that is, business or something like that. So hold on, I'm gonna grab another chunk out of my box here. I should have done that when I had my phone off, but let's go do another chunk of the mystery deck and get a couple more messages. What else would be helpful right now for the collective to know today? I love this card so much. It's telling you got to put your big boy pants on. It's telling you there's something where you need to make sure that you remember that you got big balls, male or female. Or maybe there's somebody you're going to recognize, and they're just like, you're like, wow, they just get in there and they do it. Someone's got some big balls. I've got big balls. He's got big balls. What is that? Is that AC/DC? That's such a funny song. All right, well, big balls and all. Let's see what else would be helpful from the mystery deck. Maybe it takes some big balls to cut the strings. For some of you, there's somebody that was holding the purse strings, whatever that phrase kind of means. Maybe that's the follow the money thing I saw. Maybe somebody's just always following the money and not authenticity, not their truth. Maybe you're the one getting out those big Edward Scissorhand scissors and cutting those strings. Maybe that does take a little bit of strength to do. Maybe for some of you, you're used to those strings, or I'm even getting that there were strings you didn't see, because I see invisible strings now. Like you didn't even really know there were strings there, I feel like that intuition is going to start to make those strings, especially if they're weird, stand out. You can't, fix something you didn't know was there. I'm getting, I feel like you need to be also easy on yourself. I feel like some of you are going to be upset at yourself that you didn't see something sooner. It's okay. Just when you see it, now you need to do your due diligence and act accordingly. And anything was tethering you down to your unicorn teleporting and or flying or your light shining, then I don't know. I feel like you're going to be more powerful than any strings here. It's almost like I see them disintegrating somehow, dissolving. I see like dissolving stitches. That was really weird. So maybe it is just something that over time, maybe something that was a wound or a break or a separation, something like that. Maybe that is hard. Maybe there was something had to be, mended a little. But now I see somebody just kind of ripping off the Band-Aid. And I feel like maybe there's some kind of spiritual healing that is going to happen in time, and it will just over time kind of like dissolve. That was really interesting to see. I'm getting really interesting imagery today. Hi, Super Baby. I don't know why I just called her Super Baby. That was so weird. Super Rose to the rescue. Also, take note that this flamingo came with a little lei for her. It actually came with like crazy glasses for me that have flamingos on them. I did not bring them down. Although, speaking of glasses, I do have these little heart-shaped glasses, so let's put these on for a little bit. What would be another message for the collective? You did have somebody that was thinking about you on your mind. Somebody, maybe you had to cut the strings with somebody that didn't appreciate your beautiful uniqueness or your value, because I did see those boundaries. And maybe somebody's having a really hard time ever imagining you with somebody else. Maybe for some of you, you have moved on, and maybe that's why somebody just, I don't know, I actually see that somebody may have cut you off of social media or something like that because they don't want to see your happy posts on you and your new person. It like really gets to them. For some of you, if this is something that really gets to someone and they're really imagining that and they are from your past, maybe this is the weird scenario in their mind, the fantasy they never want to have that they need to think about in order to come back right. Maybe that's just an extra message for some of you. Never want to imagine. And I'm not even getting that that is necessarily with love for all of you. That's interesting. I feel like for some of you, this could be somebody that wants to be your business partner. Like they know they work really, really well with you and you alone. Maybe that's the stubborn person. You know, maybe if they have to imagine doing that project or working on that thing by themselves or having a different manager or a different like CEO or I don't know, even employee or boss, whatever it is around them, like they're like they can't find anybody like you. So maybe that'll make somebody more adaptable to change. I feel like maybe that, I don't know why I see like a bonus or a new contract or some kind of compromise or like really deep communication that gets the ball rolling or gets you back on track. Hi. I'm gonna give you a little push. I'm gonna send you out to the creek for a little bit. All right, let's get you, that's at the bottom, shift gears. Where's your gears? That seems to be a continual theme here, guys. Where is it? I don't even know which one it was. It was the one with all those gears here. I'm trying to not let these cards fly in the water. Shift gears. Look at all the gears. You got your gears moving. There's something about these two kind of fitting together like a puzzle too. I feel like her nose fits in like that little, like the nook of his neck. There's a crow flying above us right now, kind of soaring. So maybe there is a transition happening, or that's you getting some messages from spirit. I feel like the crow is spiritual wisdom. Shift gears. think about something a different way, look at something from a different angle. And if you're shifting gears, what is that? That means you're changing your pace because the terrain has changed, or you're hugging the curve. You know, I drove a stick shift all of my life, so I always go to the stick shift things. But like, you know, instead of hitting the brake, you can just, you know, downshift, and all of a sudden it grabs the road a little bit different. Yeah, I feel like you got to change your angle, or maybe because now I see a big corner, you have to slow down before the corner. There's something around the corner you don't see. Shift gears. I like how they're in water. I never even noticed that before. They're like exactly in the same part of the creek like I would be. So you are halfway in an emotional situation, or there's something maybe you need to get into, dive into. I feel like that's our thing, but I have one more chunk here. So I'm gonna pause you and grab the chunk. I just thought of what is the movie with the kids and the pirates? The kid called Chunk. I absolutely cannot think of it, but I know I love the movie. It's like that the pirate movie from the 1980s. I don't know. I will find it and I will put the trailer in the comments for you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. Stop this part of the video at exactly 9 on the dot. So maybe something at 9 o'clock, 9 days, life path 9, 9 a.m. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Barely getting by, taking with no giving. Gonna lose your mind. Let's see, this is the last part of my mystery deck. It's so big, the whole deck is like that big now. So what is an extra message here? I like the messages today for you guys. Somebody or something needs your attention. Maybe something you've been ignoring. I feel like that's going back to the beginning on whatever you were getting overwhelmed with or procrastinating about. Maybe that's a conversation. I feel like something will capture your attention, whether that's just a feeling that you have to do something, have to say something, or it's a very obvious sign. Because I see flags now, but I'm not getting a color. It could be like a green flag, ready, set, go. It could be a white flag, more of a surrender. It could be a red flag, do not cross, or warning, warning. I actually see a rainbow now. So maybe it is a rainbow, maybe it's all inclusive. And that could be towards humans, all of our beautiful souls, or it could also be an all-inclusive resort where you don't have to pay for your food or your drink. That was really weird. Maybe some of you are going on vacation. Let's see. Well, whatever it is, you need to be open to what you don't expect coming in, whether that's a solution, that's a person, a truth you did not know. Let's get one more from this, and then we'll go to the tarot. One more, please, and oh, it's interesting because I called her Super Dog, and now you got Wonder Woman coming in. You have some big balls and you have Wonder Woman. Hey, it's a good combo. Maybe Wonder Woman has some big balls. I love this. I did see invisible strings, didn't I? And doesn't she have a magic lasso and an invisible plane? Maybe you're using your magic lasso to, I don't know, like what's that? Round up the right, the right help, the right knowledge. There's something about that plane, your transportation, your movement, and you being transparent about it. Let's continue. Oh, Rose is so good. I love that Wonder Woman is here. I'm gonna show you that again. Maybe you love comic books. Maybe you draw like anime or something like that. I just thought of something my sister gave me. I don't know the name of it, but it's a beautiful, like one of those coffee table books. It's huge. And it's all Tori Amos's songs, her lyrics, and different artists did like a storybook, you know, comic book rendition of all the songs. Wow. And I don't know why I just thought of the song Icicle. Icicle, icicle, where are you going? Where are you going? And she plays that all, I think, on black keys, which is interesting because now I just thought of the black keys and the song Tighten Up. Okay, I kind of got it, but I don't get the words. But it's a great song. I'm like, it's like half there. So you got a lot of music today. Maybe you play the piano. Rose, do you need to be closer to me? All right, so let's go to the tarot and get you some extra messages, some clarity, and see what would be helpful. Do you want to hold some cards? I used to have my bird Vinny hold the cards. That's why half of them have bird bite marks in them. I'm not sure. Are you okay? Let me take care of my girl for a minute, and we're gonna do this. I just want to make sure she's good. All right, we're gonna continue and just kind of finish up this reading with a little bit of tarot, some extra messages here at the end to see what would be helpful for you to know I feel like today. What do you need to know today to be the most helpful? Please and thank you. What does the collective need to know that would be helpful for their day? I feel like it's I heard like waking up. Like I see you waking up, and instead of maybe the normal things that you usually do, rolling over, looking at your phone, you know, going to the coffee, going to the bathroom, whatever it is, I feel like it's laying in your bed for a moment and imagining today is going to be the best day ever. And maybe that has to be tomorrow since you're watching this, you know, today. But maybe it's starting now. And I feel like you need to be that unexpected. Something about trusting God, trusting the universe to direct you to have something amazing come into your world. Or the next step towards getting there. I feel like you have to open up your possibilities to really positive things coming in. I don't know where that came from, but I feel like that message was important. So what is the advice, energy, personality, direction to know about today? That you have to make some plans today. That maybe there's something that draws you towards the light, a moth to the flame. Didn't I see you like yours truly? Look at that letter there. There is something about maybe a letter or you writing something that was, I just heard signed, sealed, delivered. There's like a wax seal on that letter. Signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Oh yeah, Stevie Wonder's always welcome to come through in these readings. So maybe, I mean, you're mapping something out here, the Two of Wands. It's interesting because I also see that as, you also have the Ten of Cups at the bottom. I see that as that, I did see like a business partner, but it could also be a passionate partner or that collaboration with something that is creative. Maybe one person's more creative and one person's more logical. But this is that after the I am, after that inspiration, after that big showing energy, you need to act upon the plans. You need to send that letter. You need to send the email. You need to answer the call. You need to, you know, gather all the supplies. It's making a decision somewhere where, is that a fish? It's the energy of like domain. So, yeah, maybe you are changing something, mapping something out, or changing something in your territory that's different. Because I always feel like this is when you know, get ready to, with the 3, leave the comfort zone, leave the castle, leave the kingdom, leave the office, leave the couch. You know, get out of your car and be a little daring with those big balls and do it. But, you know, if you just think about the plans, but you never act upon them or make decisions, it doesn't get you very far. But I'm getting for some of you, this is you and someone else. Two of Wands. If it's upside down, you have the idea, and never got past the idea. This 10 of Cups maybe has to do with a community, a family, soul family, or a lover or a business partner where you are heading towards that happily ever after every day, taking something that felt like a fairy tale and knowing it's even more amazeballs when it's real. It's like, I don't know, I feel like somebody had this fantasy of this happy energy, this thing that fulfills your soul, and they thought they couldn't have it. Or maybe they were too set in stone on how it had to come in. Here, sometimes that is weird. Here is where you had this big dream, and it sometimes just doesn't work out how you thought. And sometimes letting that go, letting that old dream go, is really rough. It's really hard. It can be bittersweet, but it can also lead you to a bigger dream, to something that is supposed to come in your new life awaiting, if only you act upon those plans. So, hi, there's a clock here too. It looks like it's 10:10. Maybe that's important for some of you. Now you had what, 9 o'clock, 5 minutes, and 10:10. You do have repeating numbers. So let's take that. I'm not gonna look, and let's get you another one. What is another message on wanting this happily ever after, or getting past the wish come true into the reality of something not being just a fantasy? I know. I'll put you closer to me. We're almost done. Let's sum this up because my dog definitely wants my attention badly. And the pets. She wants the pets. So, let's see. Let's just take what's at the bottom and we'll finish with that. What is the final message? Oh my goodness. So hard floating in the flamingo. What is the final message for the collective? Ooh, that there's an announcement, or that's you speaking your truth. Look at, you got the universe spinning above you here. Maybe this is you. I don't know. There's something about you releasing that old energy. Look at how that kid is sitting on that old school TV. You know, I don't know why I see somebody putting down their phone and just playing or communicating. Like I see a bunch of people sitting at a table and they're all on their phones and not even talking to each other. That's really weird. Maybe it's, you know, leaving your phones at home, or only, you know, pulling out the phones to, you know, do some show and tell to continue that conversation. The Page of Swords is usually where somebody is watching from afar, or watching with this energy of intelligence, hopefully to get more knowledge on what they don't know about yet. Because this is somebody who's going back to that energy of you don't know what you don't know, what you don't know, you know. And if this is just somebody who is nosy in your business, that could be somebody you cut the strings with. This could be something that you don't even know about that is in your energy and watching you, maybe out of curiosity, maybe out of ego or awe or envy or jelly. But I feel like you have a lot of people watching you, actually. You have that star power card. You're a unicorn. Of course people are going to watch you. And whatever they project out there is just a projection of them. I feel like you need to trust you're going to have the right person speak on your behalf, or believe in you. There's a big light bulb there. So there is something about knowledge gained or an epiphany happening, but I feel like it can be as big as the universe if you allow yourself to grow, because this is a younger energy. It's just the Page. Maybe it's just starting with communication. Maybe it's going, what you feel is backwards, but you're not, because you're still expanding. I want to clarify this, but with a different deck. I feel like I brought my Art of Life. So let's end with one Art of Life. I think Rose can stick around here for one more card, and I'll be right back because I got to get it out of my bag over there. Let's look at the Art of Life and see what the final message is. Let's ask why somebody is so curious with the Page of Swords. Maybe somebody is curious about a new beginning, or curious about Wonder Woman or the unicorn, or you are curious on how to start something brand new. You do have that new life here. It could also be somebody who's starting to observe something that's been repeating in their life that they didn't notice before, and now they're on, I don't know, I feel like somebody's like really refocusing in. What is the final message for the collective today to know that would sum all of this up? Please and thank you. The final message is that something had to be looked at from a different perspective. It's kind of the same message coming through. I'm gonna just kind of do that with these. But this is the Hangman, so it's somebody who's having an elevated perspective, somebody who has been illuminated to see something a different way they just didn't see before. Once you see it differently, you can't unsee it. It's also looking at what you need to cut the strings, give up, because that's what you discover after the Hangman energy. You see what you need to let go of so you can continue to move on and not just hang there forever, sit on the fence forever. Sometimes you need to take a pause, or there is a closed door for a purpose, for a reason. So you get to reevaluate something. So you get a chance to just sit and breathe and be with yourself. Maybe you had somebody on hold. Maybe that, making plans or making the phone call here, making a decision is no longer keeping somebody else on hold. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. That's definitely a theme here. You have to, maybe that's that stubborn energy. There's something where even if it was that you wanted that dream to come true, but now things in reality have changed. So how can you I don't know, I heard reevaluate, but I'm getting like restructure your dreams or recreate totally new dreams from who you are now. Maybe what you're dreaming for your future now is not the same as last year or not the same as when you were 12. So it's Lao Tzu. And at the bottom, you got the snapshots of your life you're proud to have. You have the Four of Wands. So this could be a twin flame. It could be a divine partnership. It could be a power couple. You do have a superhero coming through here. So the Four of Wands is saying yes to the dance, saying yes to the open door, saying yes to those moments you look back and you're like, thank goodness I said yes. Or thank goodness I at least stepped up to bat and I tried. I love that this is like this field of, maybe there's something in the fall as well. The Four of Wands is the wedding. It's dancing under the gazebo. It's that moment where you just, I don't know, you feel so alive. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. The harvest you reap, whether you planted weird seeds, maybe last year you wanted to grow apples, but now in your life with that new dream energy, you're gonna go for sunflowers this time. You're gonna switch something up. It's that energy of karma. So you plant beautiful seeds, you get beautiful seeds back. You keep continuing that gorgeous energy in your life, but you still expand. You expand your garden, you expand your field, you expand the different things that you're doing, or your own personal expression or your experiences. You don't want it to be like Groundhog Day and the same thing over and over and over. So if you want something to be different, what are you going to do different? Buy the seeds that you plant. So you plant the seeds today. Maybe that's why I saw you when you wake up, the first thing you think of and what you do today. Today you can make all the changes in your life for a different tomorrow. So pay attention to the seeds you are planting today, because learning about the harvests of the today and the past is how you learn to adapt your seeds. What seeds will grow and I don't know why I just heard what seeds are salty. I don't know why I saw I saw salt and sweet, and it made me think of a pretzel cone for ice cream. That was a really weird thing to end this reading on. So who is this? These are not actually readers. I have to hold it way back here. It's Robert Louise Stevenson. So maybe it's also releasing that heavy judgment and being easy on yourself. You know, if you didn't step up to bat on something before, you missed your chance to drop the ball, it's okay. What are you going to do differently today? Today, I appreciate you being here with me and Rose. Thank you for joining us. I hope this reading was helpful and something came through. I don't know why I hear healing. That was maybe healing or expansive for you. Thank you for being part of our soul family. I feel blessed to be with you here every day. Also, thank you for giving this reading a thumbs up. Hey, I really appreciate it. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.